Hey YouTube, Alex here, and I'm coming to you from Icon Siam, which is one of the latest, nicest malls in Bangkok, Thailand. And the thought occurred to me, why are there so many narcissistic expats? And you might be wondering, why are we talking about this? Well, I was raised by narcissists, and more specifically, my narcissistic grandmother came to the United States and took advantage of unsuspecting people who were unable to recognize some of these issues. And I know that many of you may not be experienced with narcissistic people. I'm hoping to shed some light on the things to look out for when you are out of your element in another country. The first reason is that many narcissists like to move around. They burn their bridges, they mistreat people, they take advantage of people, and they can no longer stay in that area. People have figured them out. Nobody wants to do business with them, nobody wants to hire them, nobody wants to date them, and so they have to go and start over. They have to go somewhere else, and this is perfect for expat life. If you're somebody that's living abroad, by its very nature, you're a transient person in transient populations. Very few people are going to notice if you pick up and move from one city to another. There's not going to be this, oh, where did he go? Where is he going? These places are in different countries, different parts of different countries. It's not uncommon for narcissistic people to basically use up their goodwill in a certain place before they move on to another place where they're not recognized. It's not uncommon to hear about a potentially narcissistic expat going around ripping everybody off, taking advantage of people, and then once word gets around, they're nowhere to be found, they've disappeared, they've gone somewhere else. It's hard to track them down. Maybe they provided a fake name, maybe they lied about their nationality. Whatever it may be, these types of people are good at concealing, lying, manipulating, and they don't feel bad about it. Point number two, they can use what are comparably small amounts of money in the West and live relatively comfortably somewhere else. Narcissistic people love to play status games. I think that's part of the appeal of expat life for them, is they go from potentially being a nobody back home to being this person who's living in an upmarket district, eating at nice restaurants, not having to pour a bunch of their money into a car payment or a house payment. They can feel that they are much higher status than back home, and narcissists love status. They love to feel important, they love to feel special, they love to feel unique, like they are superior. If they're in a situation where they can afford all these services, they can afford to mistreat some service workers, maybe even get away with it depending on how often they move around and the severity of their mistreatment. Number three, they may want to conceal their criminal past. Some of them may have some kind of criminal record where they've done something wrong back home. That record is well known in their community or follows them around. I'm sure you've seen or heard about some of the expats getting in trouble in countries like the Philippines or countries like Thailand, and then when they do some background research, they find out this person has a lengthy rap sheet and they are well known back home or notorious back home for these misdeeds and this illicit activity. I've heard of customs stopping people on a consistent basis when the people come in. They've been potentially warned by the government of that home country, hey, this person is not to be admitted, this person has committed various crimes and shouldn't be welcome in your country. And it's up to those officials to make a determination, hey, is this issue something that we're willing to overlook, something that's not going to be a major issue here, or is this something more serious where we're going to need to bar entry for this individual? Not everybody that has a pass may be barred from entering. I think it really depends on a lot of different factors, like the local rules, right? Each country makes a determination about what they find acceptable and what they don't find acceptable. Narcissists are generally not remorseful. They're just upset that they got caught. They feel that they didn't deserve to be caught. If they got caught, they don't deserve the punishment. Depending on the circumstance, that government may say, well, you know what, we don't agree with this, but it happened 10 years ago or it happened 20 years ago. It's apparent that you've learned from your lesson. We'll let you in. I know of one channel I'm a big fan of. They publicize this, or else I wouldn't be talking about it, but George and Heidi. Heidi did have a legal issue in the past. I'm not here to smear her or to talk bad about her. It's very clear that it's fine. She's not in trouble. She's been very open and honest about it and has been welcomed into the Philippines. Number four, they may want to get away with substance abuse. Many people that are narcissistic have substance abuse issues. They have addictions, they have dependencies, and I think all of these things things kind of help them to psychologically cope with the very low self-esteem, the abandonment issues that they have. I think a fair amount of narcissism is rooted in abandonment issues, where people develop this lack of empathy, this callousness, this manipulative behavior because they didn't learn pro-social behavior as a child. They didn't get the love that we need to teach us how to behave appropriately. One of the things that I think is inappropriate behavior is some kind of addiction where it's hurting not only yourself, but the people around you. Maybe it hurts your coworkers that are having to pick up slack for you. Maybe it's hurting your community when you do something illegal under the influence. There's all kinds of ways in which addiction can be harmful. For some narcissistic expats, they've figured out, hey, I can't get away with this back home anymore, but if I move over to this other country, I don't have to worry about maintaining a driver's license. I don't have to worry about maintaining good graces with my employer. I don't have to stay sober during the day. I can just go over there and do all this behavior, and not going to be welcomed, but it may be tolerated in a way that it wouldn't be tolerated back home. Point number 5, there's a low barrier to entry to expat life. For better or for worse, there's not really a major barrier to living overseas. While that's great for people who are nice, wonderful, pro-social, friendly, kind people, it also means that a lot of potentially narcissistic people can also become expats. We see examples of this behavior. Mike's Philippine Retirement talked about a guy he saw in a local bank in Dumaguete melting down, shouting at the cashier, mistreating everybody involved, and it was really just disgusting and despicable. You realize, wow, because this is an affordable option, you don't have to have tons of money compared to what you'd have to have back home to retire and essentially own your time. So these people that are narcissistic, they often get bored. They try to stir up drama because they thrive off the attention. They wouldn't be able to get attention from the merits of their contributions to society. They may have not have had the career success. Now, there are successful narcissists, and I'm not talking about those, right? There's plenty of narcissistic lawyers, doctors, CEOs, but we're talking more about perhaps the less successful narcissists, the ones that are more overt, over the top in their actions, the ones that have lower impulse control. And so, yeah, for these people, they realize, wow, if I stay back home, I'm gonna have to work Monday through Friday. I'm gonna be under the boot of a boss who's trying to make sure I don't hurt the business. But if I go over there, now all of a sudden I can seek supply, I can seek that narcissistic supply 24/7. I can pay people to spend time with me. I can go to restaurants where people have to wait on me and serve me. And it's really unfortunate, but I do think it's something to be aware of, because as more and more people become expats due to the rising costs of living in Western democracies, then you're gonna see more of these people and more of this behavior, because a lot of countries benefit a lot from tourism. While expats aren't tourists, there's some overlap there in the experience in the background. So I hope this video has been helpful. This has been 5 reasons why there are so many narcissistic expats. Please let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Have you met any narcissistic expats? Have you dealt with any narcissistic expats? I'm not here to diagnose anybody. This is just observations based on my experience, not just in person, but also online. Give us a thumbs up if the content is helpful. Please subscribe down below if you want to see more content like this, and we'll see you soon.